Hi guys, it's me. I'm back with another Transformers toy review. This time I'm having a look at Unite Warriors Decepticon Combaticons Combiner Bruticus. Had this guy for absolute ages, meaning to review him, just haven't got round to it. So this is the box that you get with it. As with all the Unite Warrior stuff, you get it comes in a box set, so you get this cool artwork on the front here. You then get this kind of lift up section here where you'd normally have them all on display in vehicle mode, and then you've got this bit here which shows you him in combined mode and shows you blast off, onslaught, vortex, swindle and brawl in their combined mode, with his tech specs down to the lower right. Strength 10, quite low on intelligence. Speed, endurance is 8 it looks like from here, courage is 10, fire blast is looks like about an 8 it looks like, and skills quite low. And then if I pop that down, you see obviously it's made by Takara rather than Hasbro. At the back here you've got them all pictured in their different modes. The thing with this set is it's kind of aimed at more being accurate to the versions I've seen in the cartoon. So the colours and things that they've used more in line with that rather than the toy or comic version that you'd have seen. And they've got a new mould for Blast Off rather than reusing the mould for Slingshot, I think, which the Hasbro version did. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at them all in their robot mode and just point out the differences between each one, what I prefer, what I don't prefer between each one, and then we'll have a look at them in vehicle mode, and then we'll get them in combined mode and compare it to the Hasbro version just to see, what the differences are. Okay, right, so first up, let's have a look at them here. So we've got Vortex here. This is the Unite Warriors one here, so we've got him here, and you can see the colours that they've used on this one here. Just messing about with my phone here because I've got a message came in and it sort of pops up on the screen, annoyingly kind of in the way. Let's move this around a little bit, makes it a little bit easier. Yeah, so he's mostly done in this kind of dark grey plastic with kind of this blue paint used along here, and then this is kind of blue plastic in here, some black kind of used in here for like the windows and things like that as well. And you'll notice you've got 4 blades on the back as compared to the 2 on the Hasbro version, which we bring him in just to compare them side by side. So you've got 4 blades compared to the 2 here, and this one kind of goes for the kind of colour scheme which you get on the actual toy itself. So lots of colour on both. The Unite Warriors do this thing where you've got this bit here and then like a separate piece here for this other combiner piece here. So that breaks up the colour. The colour scheme on both is different in terms of it's not just a straight up repaint in terms of it's painted in different places. You've got a larger Decepticon symbol in here versus a smaller one here. Silver paint used in around the mouth on this one, whereas this one's just plain with the red face, but you do get yellow paint on the side here, purple, red and yellow all in here. With all the Hasbro ones, this combiner piece is one solid piece, it'll be just one colour, and they do an odd thing where they've got the legs kind of 2 tones, so at the top there it's like a green and then the other piece is grey. But I probably prefer the colours on this guy, just because I think I prefer the toy version. Yeah, so I'd probably go towards the Hasbro one for this one. So that's him in robot mode, and you can see the combiner pieces, although the same, is slightly different. So this one's kind of more of a marbled darker grey here, and the guns here slightly different colour. This one looks as if it's painted actually, whereas the other one is just one solid piece here. So we've got that. So that's Vortex in his robot mode. Articulation is standard on here, so I won't kind of go through any of that. Next up, we'll have a look at Blast Off, which is where most of the differences are. So you've got Blast Off here, which is the Night Warriors one. So bring him up close here so you can have a look. And there you go. So he's got this cool head sculpt on him. New mold for this on here. I haven't got his gun with me, but he's got a different gun from the other one. And then if you compare him to the other one, he's obviously very different. So this one is a repaint of Slingshot, I think it is. So the colours on this one are done to match the toy, and they're spot on, the kind of dark brown and the purple, spot on. I really love the colours that they've used on here. And even with the head sculpt, although it is the same head sculpt as kind of Slingshot, it works, I think. Although I can totally understand why people would go for this one if they preferred, you know, him being an actual space, like space shuttle, which he is on this one, whereas this one he's actually a jet. So I can totally see that. This one's pretty decent as well. I find when transforming, the head can sometimes pop off the ball joint here, so that bit's a little bit loose, but other than that, no problems at all. The only way you're going to get this figure is part of the Night Warrior set. They don't sell this guy separately, whereas this guy you can pick up separately. I do recommend this guy as an individual toy, even if you do pick up the Night Warrior set. Might be worth picking up this guy and just having him as another kind of Decepticon, even if you don't want him as Blast Off. So there's those two. I just thought I'd show you them. You can see obviously a very different brown that they've used. The purple is fairly similar. Funny enough, the size of the Decepticon symbol is about the same size. And this one also as well, Blast Off, as well as having a different gun, which I haven't got here as well. The foot piece is completely different as well, so he's got a new foot piece there. I've pegged that on the back, but you can peg it under the arms or in the hand there if you want to. Entirely up to you how you want to do that on. So you've got that one. So that's 2 down. So move that one to the side here. Next up, we'll have a look at Brawl. These two look quite different in terms of the kind of colours used on the head. There's a slight difference in the kind of plastic used. So this one's slightly darker, but you can see the head sculpt is the same, but done with very different colours on them. The Takara one is very bright. You've got almost a luminous orange used for the top of the face and the eyes, and then bright red used for the faceplate, whereas the other one is just painted gunmetal with red used in the eyes. I probably prefer the Hasbro one. The Takara's got extra paint on here. You can see just in here on these little gun barrels and on the side here, and this bit middle piece here is done in grey, whereas the other one has got other paint apps added on here. So blue either side, a little Decepticon symbol here, and the paint also is different on the crotch pieces here. The Takara one as well has got a little Decepticon symbol here, and paint on the hands and the lower arms, whereas the other one is pretty much bare on here, so it's just done like that. Come down to the lower legs and it's all the same. The top of the legs here is done in different plastic. It's done in a kind of more gunmetal grey on here, where you've got the lighter grey here. I actually prefer the legs for this one onto this one, so you know, maybe if you were to kind of swap parts out, you'd probably come up with your perfect Brawl figure. And their guns are attached on the back there, and the combiner piece for this is done in a colour to match the colour of Brawl, whereas this one is done in grey. So you've got that. Both have the same sort of issue with the hip, you know, the hip piece where it comes out like that. So both the same in that respect. So no different there. Right, let's have a look. Next up, we'll have a look at Swindle. So this one is the Takara one, and this one is the Hasbro one. Both done slightly differently. The main colour, the sort of beige colour, is ever so slightly different. It's a little bit lighter on the Takara one versus the Hasbro one. The heads are different as well. So the face and everything is painted silver on this one, whereas this one, the Hasbro one, is pretty much all gunmetal with just the eyes done in purple, and the paint applications used on the kind of chest section is completely different as well. I'm not sure which one I prefer, really, to be honest with you. It just depends what mood I'm at. I'm probably leaning more towards the Hasbro one. Interestingly, it's got more paint apps on the top here, but on the Takara one you always get the thing with the wheels here, so you always get the kind of centerpiece of the kind of alloy bit painted in, whereas you don't get it on the Hasbro one. So you've got that, and when we come through to vehicle mode, you see there's different paint apps, and the guns are slightly different colours, you can see there. And these combiner pieces, again, the Takara one is done to match the colour of the paintwork, and this one's just done in grey. And you can see also on here how they've added different paint applications on here. So this one's a bit more broken up on the Takara one, whereas on the Hasbro one they've done like the whole piece in here. Takara one, you've got little silver lights on here, whereas on this one it's all purple. Again, the two tones with the combiner piece in here, versus the different paint applications added on here. I probably prefer the paint application on there, and probably the way that the head's done on differently in that. I'm not so much a big fan of the silver face on this one. I prefer it to be kind of all kind of gunmetal with just the purple eyes on there. And the Decepticon symbols look as if they're in the same place, roughly about the same size. You do have added detail on the top here with these silver bits in around the top, the upper arm, whereas the lower arms are mostly the same, whereas the hands are painted silver on this one versus the other one. The other interesting thing they do on the guns is where they've painted them, they haven't painted these lower bits, so it means that you can just peg it in like that. So that's all good, and that's it for that one. So we'll put those to the side then, and then we'll move on to Onslaught. So have a look at Onslaught here. You can see they're very different in terms of the colours. The Takara one is really quite bright. They're even on the head here, you can see it's all blue, silver and orange in the eyes. Probably prefer the Hasbro one in terms of the colours they used. They've gone for black and just the red across here. And it's all done differently. Even these pieces here, you've got little dots here, whereas this is done in like squares. You've got purple bits in here, which is kind of like sirens marked. Whereas this one's, the colours in this one are more army. I'd say that's kind of a duller sort of piece, but you do have more detail on this one in terms of paint added and the inner arms and these kind of bits in here. The guns are all painted as well, so you've got silver added on here, whereas these ones are just cast in grey plastic without a lick of paint on them. You get paint added on the side, these side pieces here, whereas on these ones the paint's added on this kind of main section in here. I probably prefer the paint use on this one, but in terms of quality, this one holds up better. On the Hasbro one, the arms, in terms of over time, look, I've just gone completely floppy, and that's on both sides, so they don't hold up at all. You know, so if you're going to pose him, you might be able to sort of get his arm out like that and sort of turn it around like that, but you're never going to be able to get the arms out. Whereas in this one you can get the arms out and have them in different poses. There's no issue with that at all. So yeah, in terms of quality, the Takara one probably holds up better, I would say. So have a look at those. Next up, we're going to get them all transformed into their vehicle mode and have a look at them there. The other thing worth pointing out as well is the Takara Unite Warriors doesn't come with a shockwave. The Hasbro set, you know, it's not a set, but you buy them all individually. He's kind of supposed to be part of that, so he then combines to form a gun, or you can just have them, you know, alongside them on display if you want to. So there's no reason, if you got the Unite Warriors, you could always get this guy with it if you wanted to. He's pretty cool, and kind of scales up quite well with him in combined mode, and not so much obviously when they're all in individual modes at the moment. So I'll show you that a little bit later on. Right, we go on to the vehicle modes. Right then, I've got them all transformed into their vehicle modes. First off, have a look at Onslaught. The Takara one is on the right hand side. As you can see, quite a few differences in terms of colour scheme, which is carried through from the robot mode. So bit of painted detail on here versus this one, which is plain. Again, the Takara one probably gets it for me just because of all the painted aspects on here. I'm not too keen on the different colours used in here, which comes through on the chest plate for Bruticus, which we'll see later. But you do have added details on the guns, which are painted silver on here, more of a gunmetal plastic used on this one, whereas these are just plain grey, no detail added to them at all. Decepticon symbols in the same place. That's all good. Yeah, that's probably about it. But then you can see how you got them side by side. So yeah, so this one does stand out a fair bit more than the other one, I think. This one's a little bit duller in terms of colour. So we've got that. If I bring the two brawls, they're pretty much the same. Like I said, there's a slight difference on the sort of colour plastic used on them. The plastic used for this bit's slightly different. If you bring this up here, you'll notice a slight difference on the front there in terms of the plastic and this front piece here. So on the Hasbro one, you've got the Decepticon symbol at the front here, and this kind of matches this, whereas this kind of sticks out a little bit. This is all coloured in on both. This one's got more of a metallic finish, where this is just kind of solid grey on here. Decepticon symbol slightly big on the Hasbro version as opposed to the other one. They've got the cool gimmick where you can plug in the gun on the back, like the old G1 toy. And of course, I would say this probably looks better on the Hasbro one because it matches the kind of grey piece that plugged in on the back. This one kind of cosmetically probably matches a little bit better because it matches with the colour there, but I think I probably prefer the Hasbro one when it comes to this particular one, I would say. So that's Brawl. Then if you bring in Swindle, I've got the Combiner bits plugged in, but you don't have to have them plugged in at all. Again, this one's got quite a lot of purple showing on this one, which is kind of more accurate to the actual cartoon. Where the fists were painted silver, they then show up in vehicle mode in here, whereas they don't on the Hasbro version. So yeah, I probably prefer the Hasbro version on this one. The only thing it's lacking really is the difference in the wheels. So that would be the only thing I'd probably transfer over for this one, is probably transfer the wheels over if I was trying to get my most best one. The headlights at the front aren't painted on this one, whereas they are on the Unite Warriors one, so that's quite a nice little touch. And you can see the little bars on here are painted, and they're not on this one here as well. So yeah, it's just down to what you prefer really. The only quality one was the one that I pointed out with Onslaught, really, in robot mode. And here you are. You've got the Unite Warriors Vortex here, who's sporting 4 blades, which is pretty nice. And the regular Hasbro version, which has just got the 2 blades on, which was used as blades as this one was, but this is like a new piece on here. Again, more kind of cartoon. No, this one's more like the original toy with the colours that they've used, again, which come out with the missiles and their shoulder pieces here. And this one here is more like the actual cartoon version here. Again, I'm probably leaning towards the Hasbro one. I like the Decepticon symbol showing on here and everything else like that. This one's just got the smaller one in here. Both probably got equal amounts of paint on here. This one's got added bits along here, whereas this one's got more of like a strip that goes along there. The only thing I probably prefer on this one is the blades, having the 4 blades on it, kind of sets it apart from the other ones on there. But yeah, I think that's the main thing really. This bit's painted in here as well, whereas it's not on the Hasbro version. So that's that. Pop those to the side, and then obviously you've got Blast Off versus Blast Off. So I'll take this off so you can see it, how he is. So I'll just unpeg the guns just so you can see them side by side. So this one's obviously a repaint of Slingshot, and it's done very nicely. The colours that are done on it are very reminiscent of the actual toy, although the actual alt mode isn't, and the kind of purples and the grey that they've used on there is very well done, well painted. The cockpit's painted in a kind of light purple there as well, which kind of reminds me of the toy as well. Overall, I think it's pretty nice, very well done. Even though the painting of the yellow in robot mode's pretty well done. And here we've got him in his shuttle mode for the Unite Warriors version. You can see he looks very different, bit more like the alt mode that we're used to seeing. It's not perfect. It's alright. I mean, you've got the blasters at the back here. You've got lovely Decepticon symbols on the side here and on the front here. The purple that they've used on here is pretty good. The brown on it is more in line with the cartoon again, rather than the toy, which is something I'm not as used to. But still, it looks good. Not complaining really. Again, with this one, it just depends what your preference is. If you prefer the look or you're going for the kind of cartoon look, then Unite Warriors, this one's the way to go. If you're not so fussed about that and you want to go for this set, that's fine as well. The only way you're going to get this particular mould of Blast Off is to get him with the Unite Warriors set, so that's your only way that you're going to get him. He's not sold separately at all. So that's him. What we'll do then now is just get them all combined, and we'll have a look at them in their robot mode. So in their kind of combined mode, so we'll have a look at Bruticus together in that mode, and we'll just wrap that up from there. And then I'm probably going to do it as a separate review, but I've got some Bruticus add-on kits, so I'll probably do those separately, but use the 2 Bruticus or Brutici in the comparison videos. Right, okay. Then we've got them both combined into Bruticus. You see down below there, I've just got Shockwave just in the picture there, so you can see what he looks like scale-wise alongside that. So that's another neat thing that you can do, and he can obviously combine, transform it into a gun, which can be used for Bruticus to hold. And you can see straight away there's a lot of differences in the overall aesthetic of the figure. The front of the Hasbro version is kind of plain grey, the front piece, which coincides with the toy. You remember you had those grey kind of plate that you used to add on the front, whereas Bruticus here looks very different. You've kind of got these kind of brown and kind of gunmetal, sort of dark brown colour, and purple, which is kind of the same colours as Blast Off on that front section here, and then you've got a silver piece, painted piece down at the bottom here. So it's made to look like 2 different pieces. Okay, so you've got that, the front section on the legs here with this one, just painted silver all the way throughout. On this one, there's less paint, but I kind of prefer the look. So all they've done is painted in these sections here, silver and purple, which I think looks really nice. Decepticon symbols probably slightly bigger on the Unite Warriors one as opposed to the other one. I prefer that one, even though I would prefer it to have been, say, silver rather than just grey plastic. So there is that side of it. Obviously the combined limbs have a different look, which comes through into combined mode. The heads are different as well. So the Unite Warriors is kind of silver with red paint for the eyes and kind of white kind of mouth guard that you've got on there. Whereas this one goes for a gunmetal finish for the head. Red for the eyes again, which is slightly darker, I would say. Yeah, and then silver for the faceplate. And then the guns at the back show up, and they look slightly better on the Unite Warriors version, where you've got the silver bits coming up as opposed to just grey plastic on that one. So the purpose of this video really is just to give you an overall kind of look and feel as to, you know, what you get with each set. If you were to buy the Hasbro one as a set, I know it doesn't come as a set, versus the Unite Warriors, which does come as a set. So get your feel as to, you know, what it's going to look like with each set if you did go down that route. There's pros and cons to both. I think in the end of the day, it just kind of boils down to what look you prefer. If you prefer the cartoon look, then you're probably going to go for Unite Warriors. If you prefer the toy look, you're probably going to go for the Hasbro version. The Hasbro set is probably cheaper as well. Onslaught is easier to find, although some of the Combaticons are probably a bit more expensive now. Sort of on the secondary market, I would suggest, whereas there's probably a few Unite Warriors ones still about. And the other plus for the Unite Warriors set is obviously that you do get this new mold for Blast Off, which is only available in this set. So again, if you're particularly keen on him being a space shuttle and don't like him being a jet, then that's the route that you're going to have to go down for that. That's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching if you managed to stay along right to the end. I'm also going to be doing a review of the Perfect Effect KO hands and feet set, and also as well I'll do a review of the Bruticus kind of head and kind of gun upgrade set as well. Okay, thanks for now. Bye bye.